I read the first two books of the Toman Boys series, and I have so many thoughts. Hello, friends. I am Kate, your autistic book reviewer, and it is time for you to grab a cup of tea so we can have a little chat. You heard me right. I fell into the sensational trap of reading the Toman Boys. Do I regret it? No. Am I ashamed of myself? A little. Will I continue on? Now that is the question I feel like we will have an answer to by the end of this video is, will I continue on with this series? At this moment, I have no idea. For those of you that who have been living under a rock and have not heard about the Toman Boys series, the first book is called Keeping 13, and it is by Chloe Walsh. Essentially, this is the hook. This is what sucked me in to begin with. It follows a rugby player. The MMC is a rugby player, and it is set in Ireland. Like, if you need any other reason that you're just like, pause the video, I need to go to my library, I need to buy this book immediately. It's just rugby and Ireland. If you want the real synopsis of it all, essentially we have, I think I should first preface this by saying I believe this is set in 2005, which I find to be a very fun part about the book is that we've got some early aughts fun, whether you're from that era and you remember it or, you know, you were born too recently. It's still a lot of fun. Yes, 2005. It's still a lot of fun. It has some of that stuff about cell phones and everything that we just don't, you know, everyone is so accessible now, and that's a little less of a thing here in this book. But essentially we start with Shannon, and she is starting in a new school because she has been severely bullied at her old school, and it finally reached enough to where she just could not be at that school anymore. And so her mother found a way to work extra shifts and get her into the school called Toman. Oh yes, that's where the title's coming from. Then while she's there on her very first day, she just so happens to get clobbered in the head with a rugby ball. I'm going to save how that happens for your imagination and for your reading of pleasure. But she gets bludgeoned in the head with a rugby ball to the point that she has a minor concussion and she needs assistance. It's this whole thing. But that is the inciting incident in the meet cute between her and Johnny. Johnny being the MMC. He is number 13, the center on the school's rugby team. He is a Irish star. He plays for the U20s. He's working on being called up to the major leagues with the green shirts. That's all he does is play rugby. He doesn't know anything else in life until Shannon walks into his life. Yeah. If you're all wondering why I am hot and heavy over rugby players, I'm married to one, okay? I am married to a rugby player who is currently working on trying to be number 15, if you know numbers, and he switches between 14 and 11 right now, but he's working on being number 15. So I'm just throwing that out there. This is why I am fucking obsessed with rugby players. I don't know what else to say to you as hooks to get you to read this book, or to also read this book, which is book number 2. And as you can probably guess by the titles alone, it continues on with the same romance, which is part of the reason I'm not sure if I'm going to continue, because after these two books, the MMC and main female character, MFC, I'm trying to be cool, they change. And though they are very well established and I would like to know more, let's get into particulars. Now, if I do have you hooked and you want to leave this video and go give the books a quick read, don't worry, I will be including a spoiler-free portion of my review at the beginning here. But if you're curious, make sure to use my bookshop.org link in the show notes to help support me in putting out more content for all of you. Not only is it a great source of finding your books, it is not supporting Amazon. You are able to pick an independent bookstore through the site that they help support. And no extra cost to you. I end up getting a small commission for every book that you purchase through my link. So please and thank you. Tea break to reward myself, and I got the hard part out of the way. I'm done fiddling with books, so we're gonna switch to an actual fidget thing. I have so many thoughts about this book. One of my biggest concerns about the series to begin with is the idea that I was sold this series as being a new adult group, not a 15 and 17-year-old. And that is very hard for me. I can't be the only one that you're like rooting for these people to get hot and heavy and like kiss and have like the romance and the fire emojis and their kids. Like maybe when I was closer to their age in my early 20s, I could support that because I was still in that mindset that they had. But now that I'm in my 30s, it just feels weird. I have nieces and nephews now. Like it feels weird. And so that's one of the reasons that I am unsure about continuing with the series. However, I do know that the next character is 18. I don't remember what the other character's age is. I would hope it's close to the same. So if we look at that, I may continue. Or I'm just so fucked in the head and lost, and I'm gonna give up and just read the series and just accept my fate. Because that's probably what's gonna happen. In reading the series and also in reading other very embarrassing series, I can't help but stay stuck with. Like have not left my head. I have reread them. I am obsessed with the trope of you still have a really strong female who's ready to kick some ass, but she needs to kind of like discover herself and kind of come into herself. And then you have this really like strong guy come into her life. He has experience. He knows life. There's a comfort that you can be taken care of by him. I know one of my series doesn't fully meet the take care of, but they take care of each other. I'm talking about after. Okay, yes. But this is my thing. And it is very much present in the Toman series, The Boys of Toman. Yes, he is this wealthy, rugby playing, knowledgeable, world viewing person. Okay. Yeah. So for me, I know that might not be a lot of people's cup of tea per se, but it is my cup of tea. And it is enough about me in my opinion. Let's get to some nitty gritties about some of the backstory, non-spoiler things about this book that I did really appreciate. Now, fun thing about Chloe Walsh in the series is it was self-published to begin with. She's another one of those that got a lot of notoriety being self-published, and then she was able to be picked up by a trad publisher. Though I'm so happy for her, and I love this for her, this becoming a trend of trad publishing no longer accepting queries from agents and they're only going and looking at what's already sold as a self-published book is annoying to me. I love that it's happening and it's a possibility, but it's annoying when that's all they're doing now. It's like you have to fucking prove yourself before they will even consider you. Like, come on. I say all that because you can very much tell, at least from my perspective, that this is a self-published book. Especially in book one, there is some writing choices and some stylization and things I struggle with. That level that I love so much in writing that we get with like the Schwabs of the world and the Laini Taylors and just the quality and excellence of word choices and comparison and descriptions and showing, not telling, and just all this stuff was lacking for me, especially in book one. Book two was a little bit better. You could definitely tell that she had some experience under her and that we were getting somewhere. That, once I could get into the writing, that didn't stop my enjoyment from just accepting that is what it was going to be and that I was going to love it because the characters. What wins you is the fucking characters. Okay, which brings me to part two, the characters. The characters are some of the most fleshed out and well-developed written characters I have seen for a very long time, especially when it comes to the romance genre. I feel that sometimes authors, they lack the background and rounding out the characters, and they focus so much on the romance aspect and the characters together instead of the fact that these characters had lives. They have lives outside of each other. And Walsh did an amazing job creating that to happen to the point that their backstories and their lives became front and center to the story as well. So it was a level above just being a romance book. Like, love and romance is a very big part of this book, but we honestly have a very in-depth, complex storyline to go with it, and that is revealed especially at the end of book 2, which this makes me want to just preface for everyone out there. This book has a lot of triggers, and though I can handle a lot of triggers, this one went a little too close to home for me, and I did get triggered from reading this book. So I want to make sure that if you're going to read this book and you do have a trigger warnings list, make sure you check out what the warnings for are in this book, because they are intense, they are realistic and heartbreaking, and they are not watered down in book 2. They are not watered down. And even if it doesn't hit close to home, I think it is going to fucking rip your heart out when you get to that part of the book. So I'm putting that warning out there. Walsh also put a glossary at the beginning of this book for all the Irish terms used throughout the book, and either I know the Irish terms, which I'd like to pat myself on the back and think that that's true, or she didn't actually use them too much in the book. I don't know. I feel like I only looked up the glossary once, and the word I looked up in the glossary wasn't even in the glossary, and so I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know. Now, do you need to know rugby to enjoy this book? No, you don't. I mean, as long as you understand the general idea of what a rugby player looks like, which is just so easy. Just go Google a rugby player and you'll be fine. Yeah, you're fine. You don't really need to understand the intricacies of the sport. Like, if you want, just Google what position 13 plays. So unlike football, rugby, their numbers represent something, and it means that the position that they play on the team. So it's not just a random number choice. When you say someone is 11 or 14, that's actually saying that they're a winger on the team. Or if you're saying that they're 15, and oh God, I hope I don't fuck this up, they are half back. I have been watching rugby for a while. I am married to a rugby player, and yet I still fuck up. All I know is 13 is a center, 6 and 7 are flank, 9. Oh, I'm just gonna give up here. Now, do you want to know the sexy rating of this book? How many sexy fire emojis is this book getting? It's getting all of them. This is not a fade to black, which is the problem for me because they're kids. This is not, God, I feel like I'm just about to get my video blackballed by... Okay, this is not a fade to black. This is all the spicy emojis. It is... If you're going to fall in love with anyone in this book, it's going to be either Gibbsy or Johnny's mom. I'm just going to say that right now. Because, God, I hope I'm his mom someday. Mom dreams. Like, I used to read A Wrinkle in Time and pray that I would turn into that mom, but now I have a new literary mom that I hope to be, and it's honest to God, Johnny's mom, Edel. Edel. I'm pretty sure it's Edel. His mom... is the absolute fucking best character in this series and probably one of my favorite literary characters of all time. And yeah, she wins. She is my fictional crush. Goals all the way. Anyways, there is a lot of humor in this book. With how dark the books are, there's still a lot of humor in them, and to make it a lot of fun. So I'm not going to make you have to wait through the spoiler section to know if I'm going to keep reading it, but I'm just going to say that I already have them all from the library. They are in my possession. And if I didn't have a to be read stack that had deadlines to them already, I would probably be starting on book number 3. But in all honesty as well, I need a slight break after the ending of book 2 because my heart is royally fucked and broken. So yeah. It's going to be a hot minute. It's going to be a hot minute, but there are still 3 books for me to enjoy and get through. Now, friends, if that was enough of a convincing, now don't forget the bookshop.org, link below. Otherwise, it is time for you to fuck up my metrics and to run away because I am going to be doing spoilers. I am ready to spill my heart out about these books. Okay, so chit chat time, friends. Let's sit down and talk about a book because it is It is a lot. What do I have to say? I have a lot. Really, the age was a huge problem for me in the book. However, that being used as a plot device in book one for why Johnny could not date Shannon is a huge problem with me. They are not even 2 years apart, and I get it that he was about to turn 18, and at the time she was still 15, but she was going to turn 16 before he turned 18. Because he was using that. It's like, that is the stupidest reason for you not to date someone that you like, that you're attracted to. I mean, you're both in school. He still has a year of school left. They are still, like, I just can't. I just can't. And also, the very fact that they had a gap or leap year in the school so that Shannon can magically jump up a year, 2 years or whatever, so that she's no longer 3 school years behind him, but only 2. That's awfully convenient. And part of me wants to Google now and see if that's actually something that they do in Ireland, or if it's just a plot device that Walsh used to get them closer in age. I mean, let's be honest, the only reason I want to keep on with the series is to see if I still get glimpses of Johnny and Shannon at the end in the other books, which is very likely by the fact alone that the next 2 books are about Shannon's brother. And he, I know, is, by the way, that book 2 ends living at the house with Shannon. I don't see how she and Johnny are not going to make a continuous reference and like continuously coming back to the story. It's just not going to be to the depth that I know I'm going to want it and need it to be. It's going to be kind of like in passing. He's going to see them in the hallway. He's going to have the talk with his now very mature younger sister. He's going to have to be comforted by her. He's going to make her mad, but we're not going to get the in-depth in their heads part that I really am loving and doing. Walsh's decision to also make this a 2 POV was superb, and I definitely felt that their voices were very different. I really appreciated the humor that came from the fact that we were seeing both sides and sometimes replaying scenes, which I normally do really, really hate, but them going back and forth and seeing certain scenes through each of their perspectives is perfect, especially in all the times Johnny's mom found them. Like, this is not... So many times we watch this stuff and we're just like, okay, like, young kids are getting to do adult things. I don't understand, where are their parents? That is not the case in this book. Johnny's mom finds them more than once, and it is hilarious. And then you mix that with Gibson's foul mouth and you're just like, well, that's the reason I'm reading the book to begin with. Shannon's family story is heartbreaking. This is also where I really think that there's a lot of depth to the story. Is not only was that explored fully, but the idea behind, she has so many brothers, and the fact that Walsh created this very rich story and created characters for each one of them instead of just being like a past thing. Oh yeah, those are my brothers. I believe the youngest is 3 years old, and the youngest even has amazing character development and love, and I'm in love with the family. Because I was so triggered in this book too, I don't know if I'm ever going to reread it. I just don't know. I don't know if I can relive the heartbreak at the end of book 2. I don't know where Walsh got that all from, but just especially with the very fact, I mean, we all know, I don't know who else was not guessing that Shannon's dad was about to burn the whole house down. I don't know, but I knew, especially when Johnny picks up Shane and he is wet and heartbroken. But the very ending of him, especially with the interaction with Shannon's mom, when he's like holding all 3 of the kids and trying to get out of the house, and she's just like, save my babies. And then we found out later that she didn't make it and she died. I was hoping there was a chance they would get back to her in time, but they didn't. All of that is just so heartbreaking, but believable. And that's the worst part about it all. And I just don't think I can like go through it and live through that again. I can't live through that part of the book all the way to the end, because then we have to deal with Shannon's grief, and it is intense. And screw everything about the writing. Walsh's writing explodes in book 2. It is so much better than it ever was in book 1. And I don't think I can live through that again. It is a heartbreaking book. And that's why I said make sure you read the triggers. And if you didn't, I'm sorry. It's a lot, but it's also beautiful. And I really want to see this as a movie or a show, preferably a show. I mean, we had The Summer I Turned Pretty. Like this, I think would be another amazing Summer I Turned Pretty, less summer fun, but just a really good romance, like teeny bopper romance that we need again because that's, I think, done at this summer, and I am sad about that. I just need more people to gush about this book with. I need you to read the book for me, and then let's have a talk. Because I don't have anyone in my life that will probably read this series, and I just need to find other like-minded book souls out there who will gush over the same book boyfriends. I need a book sister, let's be honest. I need a book sister, so I'm taking requests if anyone's, also looking for a book sister. Well, that's all I think I'm gonna say. I wish I had more to say. I wish I had more to talk about, but my thoughts are all jumbled now. And I think the main point that I got across is, yes, you should read this series. I'm excited. I don't think I'm gonna read any of Walsh's other works after this. I looked at some of them. I'm just not really interested in some of the storylines of it all. But yeah, I wish her the best of luck. I'm glad that these fell on my lap, except for the age problem. And I hope I got you addicted to them as much as I was addicted to them. But thank you so much for listening to another review by me, Kate, on Dark Side of the Word. Please make sure to rate, review, and subscribe to the channel so that other viewers like you or people who might be interested in this series who then need to become my friends so we can chat about it can find this content as well. Let's get it out there. Let's spread the word of Johnny and Shannon because they deserve to be talked about a little bit more. But thanks, friends. Happy reading.